I found something very interesting in Jude verse 14. Well, there's only one chapter in Jude, so this would obviously be Jude 1:14. I found something very, very interesting, and I'm going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the book of Enoch as well. That should be a little hint to what I found here. There's many, not every believer. There's a lot of believers that believe that the book of Enoch should be, counted as scripture, as, counted as, inspiration from God. And, but then there are others that don't think so, and I've heard all of their, reasons, and they don't trust me. They don't really have a reason. And, I've even, I remember, on YouTube, long ago, years ago now, I've made plenty of videos, giving reasons to why the book of Enoch should be, counted as, scripture, or counted as, being, just inspiration, a book that's inspired by God, by the Lord, and, giving, and those, arguments that I would give, would, kind of be like, I would bring up, some of the things that many other people would say, and then, kind of give an answer, to why, the things that they were saying held no weight at all, and really was a very, very dumb, stupid reason of why they would be saying that this is not, inspiration, inspired words from God. And then last night, as I was reading Jude, I found this scripture. So Jude, obviously there's only, one chapter of Jude, so you can say Jude 1:14. It says, Enoch, who lived in the seventh generation after Adam, what's this word here? Prophesied about the people. He said, listen, the Lord is coming with countless thousands of his holy ones. Okay, how in the world does Jude know that Enoch prophesied? Well, in the book of Enoch, we see that Enoch has many dreams and many prophecies. Some have to do with Jesus's first coming, and then also have to do with his, second coming and all of that. So this book right here is clearly a book of, prophesying Jesus's, first coming and second coming. So when you read that in 14, where it's, I gotta find it again, 14, where it says that he prophesied about these things, and he's talking about Enoch. How would he know that? How would he have that knowledge? That's the question that I get in my mind. How did he know that Enoch, somebody that lived thousands of years before his time, how would he know? How would he have the knowledge that he prophesied about these things? Well, maybe because he was taught about the book of Enoch. Maybe he grew up hearing about Enoch and his prophecies. That makes you kind of wonder why. Why would they teach, Enoch and Enoch's, prophecies if it wasn't inspired by God? Like, these are Jews learning about Enoch. How? If we are saying, we shouldn't put the book of Enoch in script because it's not of God, it's not inspiration of God, it's not inspired words of God and all of those things. These are people that learned about Enoch's prophecies. How did they learn that? They learned it because perhaps it is scripture. Wake up! Wake up and realize that it is scripture. It is inspired words from God himself. Because if it wasn't, the Jews would not have learned, like Jude would not have learned of Enoch if it was not inspired words from God. If the book of Enoch was not inspired words from God, he would not have learned. And so let me tone it down just a bit, because I'm just so, it just, you gotta be, asking those, like, why is it that he knows Enoch and his prophecies? Maybe because the Jewish people learned about Enoch and his prophecies. And then why would they learn about Enoch and his prophecies if they weren't inspired words, from God? And so those are the questions that you kind of have to ask. And when you ask those questions, you really, when it comes down to, is the book of Enoch really is inspired by God. And so therefore, as the church, we need to maybe put the book of Enoch in scripture, in the Bible. We need to stop, saying that it's not this, not that. I just encourage, so really, my encouragement would be that the church would add Enoch. Maybe there's somebody out there that, maybe those that write new translations, maybe they can put the book of Enoch in a new translation. Maybe there can be a new translation that would, have the book of Enoch, and maybe some of the other Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm not necessarily saying that all Dead Sea Scrolls, but, especially, it kind of looks like they taught the book of Enoch to the Israelites. And so, yeah, it's time that it be put in the Bible, I would say.